stretch. I'll watch. Hey, I can do it myself.
But you needed help getting into bed last night, and I thought, and then you had that bad dream.
I said I can do it myself. Okay. Getting to be an enabler. There. Are you satisfied?
Let's do some stretches, please. That's it. Hold it for 10 counts.
Okay.
Counts 1, 2, 3,
Right.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Okay. That was better than yesterday, wasn't it?
Yes, I guess.
Is that a yes or a no?
I think I...
Just don't lie to me.
I'm not lying. I don't know. Okay, it was better.
You sure?
I'm not sure, but I think...
Forget it. Say, don't you have to go to work?
I can come in a little late this morning. Need the bathroom?
Not that I know of.
Ha! Can't resist trying to get me to laugh, can you?
Yeah, well, you know my favorite cliche.
A laugh a day keeps the doctor away. Keeps the shadows away.
Anyway, my new laugh project is Josh. When we meet at the gym lately, he's beginning to worry me, so I've been trying to use some of that old material from my dancing on a string routine and throw in some new jokes I've been thinking of recently. But Josh seems to find too many things to worry about for me to catch up.
I'm just glad you kept that your act as a hobby. You were thinking of quitting your job to do it full time before your pension kicked in, remember?
I didn't, okay? You were always my worst, I'm actually my most demanding joke critic.
And I was always in demand, wasn't I?
And you're cute too. Anyway, the best I can get out of Josh these days is a nervous grin. And I can't tell if the grin's real or he's trying to put on a front.
You can practice on me anytime. You know I'm good at funny.
It's not that I haven't thought about it.
Anyway, with your volunteering at the library and the homeless shelter, it's not as if you have anything else to do.
Except to get a little tired of being mistaken for one of the needy. Of trying out the act, but trying out the act is not such a crazy idea. Yeah. And I can get people to laugh the way I used to. It would give me a lift too.
Do you think you can get in touch with your old agent?
It's worth a try. He told me when I stopped doing the routine that if I changed my mind, there was still an audience around. Want to go with some of those one-liners from the PD joke book?
You think I can remember them?
So, what is a PD's favorite appetizer?
Tossed salad. You told me that one yesterday, don't you remember?
Yeah, you know, that memory for me.
Is a thing of the past.
What is a PD's favorite breakfast food?
Shredded wheat.
Here's a non-PDer. Why is Egypt the favorite getaway spot for crooked politicians?
Don't know. Why?
Because they can always go into denial.
Well, you still have the delivery.
Yeah. When I had an act, remember my opening? I used to be a stand-up comic, but Parkinson's got me a sit-down.
Still a little rusty.
Yeah.
Practice. I've got to go now. There's a sandwich in the fridge.
I'll call you when I'm done at the gym, okay?
Text if you can. I'll be at meetings most of the day.
You know how hard it is for me to text. The last one I sent you said, who are all my if?
Somehow I was able to figure it out. See you this evening. And don't forget to call your agent. It's worth a follow-up.
Love you.
Love you too.
Hey, my fellow PDers, family, friends, and enablers. I'm back with my show. Anybody remember how my routine started? Because I don't. One of my advantages of PD is that I can tell the same joke twice and get the same laughs. So here's my routine. I promise, I won't repeat myself. What is a PD's favorite swim stroke? The butterfly! So here's the routine. I promise I won't repeat myself. So, what did the PD lawyer tell his client who came to notarize the contract? Sign on the blotted line. So I went to my neurologist just to try my new PD jokes. I hope to branch out if I run out of PDs. If you're playing tennis doubles with a PD, what do you have to watch out for? When he hits the ball. What is the cause of false pains in the legs? Ligaments of the imagination. What condition occurs when a therapist overdoes the massage treatment? Stroke victim. What best describes the anger of a patient who gets bad news from her therapist? Shooting the massager. Everybody has routines, especially PDers. Getting yourself out of bed is a routine. Getting dressed, washing, buying groceries, doing housework. What makes people need routines? Because there is a reward of getting it over with and feeling you've accomplished something. But how do you feel rewarded when you're never sure you've accomplished something important? Because for us PDers, anything is considered an accomplishment. It's not easy if you never know how it makes any difference to anyone else. That's a matter of faith, mostly in yourself. Like opening your eyes in blindness, expecting to finally see something. So, I went to my neurologist.
So, let's see you walk. As naturally as possible. Well, good. I see you making progress.
Yeah.
Now, touch your nose with your finger. Well, that's it. Keep up with the routine, and you'll be, you'll be
Better? Cured? The same?
Remember, no guarantees. We can't deal with guarantees.
Live every day to the full.
That's right. Now, I'm sorry, but these forms must be...
Only one thing, doctor.
What's that?
Sometimes trying to live life to the full can make you feel pretty empty.
Yes, Mom. He just went to the store. It's about 4 blocks. You want me to what? Call him? He's been gone 5 minutes. Now don't start that family curse routine on me. No, I don't know what's going to happen next. He's here. My mom.
Yes, I'm fine. No, I can't imagine what you do without me. Or with me. Yes, I'm not tired from a 10-minute walk. Of course, I'm feeling better. Just talking to you makes me feel special. Yes, I love you too. Yes. So how was your day, honey? But
A little rough. One of the residents passed away last night. She was my favorite, sort of sweet old lady named Hilda Nussbaum.
how old was she?
96. Not demented either.
Hope for me yet.
I was told her son came. He hadn't seen her in 25 years. She saw him, smiled, said, "Guess I can go now," and she did. Seems you can say better late than never.
I'm a now person, remember? There's no early or late.
Well, what did the doctor have to say?
I'm just fine. I'm beginning to wonder if he's aware which patient I am. I'm convinced that the reality, that they really think of numbers when they see us. He must be Mr. 8.5. And my next slide is an imperfect 10.
Ha-has.
What causes neurotic doctors to retire early?
When they run out of patience. You're getting to repeat yourself, sweetie.
Sorry. Which reminds me, are you, as you suggested, I called my old agent from when I was doing stand-up. Yes, there was a last-minute cancellation, so he asked me to do a gig tomorrow night if I think I can handle it on short notice. A warm-up for a comedy act by a paraplegic. It's called Give Me a Hand.
Where is it? In the village?
Nah, if I should be so lucky, it's a dive on a side street near the slope. A good venue for my kind of crowd.
I'm coming with you. We'll take the car.
All right.
I hate to think of you walking down those 39 steps.
Okay, I'll drive there.
Night driving? You know you have trouble seeing.
I'll be fine. And you'll be fine with one of those crash helmets.
You've been having a hard time driving in the
I'll drive slow so you won't even know the car is moving.
You know, you can be serious once in a while.
Keeps me in practice. Life is too serious to take too seriously.
But
I said I'm driving the car. I can still steer a goddamn car without running into a traffic light.
Okay. Kill us both in order to make a point. I didn't mean that.
All right, we'll splurge on a cab, okay?
I just don't want to.
I bet we both want miracles, don't we?
Every time I see you is my miracle.
So why are you so patient with me? Why are you so goddamn understanding? Why do you care about me?
That evening, when you came from the doctor's office, and she told you she had good news and bad news.
And the good news was that my MRI was negative. I didn't have a brain tumor. And the other news, I just have Parkinson's.
And I knew then that I was so lucky I wasn't going to lose you.
And you still think you're lucky?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes!
Mm-hmm.
Yes!
So, I told my therapist that it took him 6 months to figure out that I was unbalanced. It was time for us to shake on it and say goodbye.
How was Josh this morning, Pat?
Stubborn as usual. He insisted in getting his sweater on himself.
Well, Pat makes them feel better, whatever it is they can do for themselves, no matter if they make a mess of it. That's the way Brian was. Only I had to clean up the mess. So, what happened with Josh?
He almost got strangled. I had to ruin a perfectly good sweater to get him out of it in one piece.
Sometimes you have to wonder, is it all worth it?
Try not to think about it, okay?
Hey, sorry I'm late, guys. So,
No sympathy. I walk.
never heard us have a sense of humor.
Only when we laugh.
Yeah, so, what's on your minds today?
Not much, since we're out of them most of the time.
But we can always get a laugh out of it.
It's good to laugh. It's good to laugh.
Sometimes I can't help laughing.
What's this about laughing? I've got plenty to spare.
What do you call an old sailor with a robotic arm?
Assault with battery.
Ah.
You told me that one last week, remember?
Yeah, but here's a really new one. Why couldn't Jeremiah and Moses do any charity work?
Okay, why not?
Because they had to volunteer for not-for-profits. Hey, what is a PD's favorite daytime activity? A nap.
Anything unusual happened since our last session?
Hal's been having strange dreams.
What about?
You really want to know?
Well, it's part of the job.
Which part?
I had a dream last night.
I know. I kept asking you if you were asleep, which is always a ridiculous question. Are you feeling all right? Maybe we should see the doctor.
No. I'm okay.
But
I'm okay.
I'm still waiting for you to tell me what's not okay. What did you dream about?
Not the one about waking up with no legs.
Oh, well, that's a relief.
You being sarcastic?
No, ironic.
It's hard to describe. was about to do my new stand-up routine, and the audience was looking very strange. And I tried to talk, but I had no mouth.
Easy. Take it one. Just relax.
I just wish someday I could dream about sex.
Ready, willing, and able.
Oh. You know how much I want to feel that way again?
When it happens, it happens. I can wait.
Well, it seems to me you're handling things very well, Paula. And I'd suggest that you read our latest issue of our bulletin. There are a few medical trials coming out.
That's right. But Josh's doctor told him that the best therapy he could have is exercise.
Does bitching count as exercise?
Anyway, cannabis is soon going to be the new drug of choice. Just think, we could pretend it's the 60s again.
A personal note. There are good days and there are bad days, and days that seem to end just when your body is getting ready to change. You're getting used to changes that we don't even realize until they become obvious to other people. We all have those as we age, of course, but we can try to think we can stop the changes and stay in whatever now we're in. And for that hope, there's always exercises. Lift, push, hold, squeeze, stretch, crouch, crouch, hold, lift, stretch, squeeze, push, reach, glide, grasp, press, glide, reach, press, reach, press, reach.
Oh boy. That physical therapist is brutal.
Well, don't worry, it's good for him.
I thought it was supposed to be good for us.
Next time, just look at the smile on his face, and then in a mirror, who's happier, you or him? Anyway, even if it's a real schlep, it feels good for us when we stop.
You just can't resist with the jokes, can you?
Well, laughter is important in getting the serotonin flowing. Look it up. Here's a couple more to make you feel better than exercise.
Oh no.
Why would a PD make a good politician? He loves to shake hands. A PD's favorite pop song. Good vibrations.
Enough already! I'm just happy that the kids are out of the house. Whenever they visit, I see on their faces that they'd rather be anywhere than with me. I guess I don't act normal enough for them.
Come on, Josh. What do you expect? It's not your fault. Just stop worrying about worrying.
If they just give me the time to do what I can, but the harder I try, the slower I get.
Anyway, don't let it bug you. Your kids are just kids.
Well, you know, the more I think about it, Pat is getting on my nerves. She keeps helping me put on my sweaters.
Don't forget that it might do her some good to feel she's helping.
That's true. I probably sound like a selfish bastard. I can't seem to think about anybody but myself.
It's only normal, so don't beat yourself up over it.
Recently, I'm never sure anymore when I wake up if I can get out of bed. And I have to pee and worry about having an accident.
Has this been a problem for you recently?
Oh, you don't want to know.
Come on, tell me about it. That's what pesky friends are for. It's something that might explain the gloomy way you've been acting lately. You can tell Dr. Freud anything you want, and you'll get my bill in the morning. How's Pat doing?
She's adjusting. We can handle things at home.
I'm so glad we decided to try meeting at our homes for a change. It's not comforting to sit in a room that looks like a lab.
I think the reason we haven't done it before is we didn't want to hurt his feelings.
Ha! Feelings? Every once in a while, I look at the back of his head, just out of curiosity.
To see if he's getting bald?
No, to see if he comes with batteries. So, how are you handling things at home?
It's not easy when you have to pretend that you don't notice the pee stains and try to ignore the accidents.
Why don't you tell him you know about it?
And make him more self-conscious than he already is?
And what about you?
What do you mean, what about me?
I think it's time for you to get someone to help out. I finally gave in, though I know Brian hated a daycare routine, but I had to be honest with myself. If Josh doesn't want to help you, there's not going to be much you can do to help him. You have to tell him you know he's got bladder problems and not wait until he can't fool himself anymore that you don't know.
He's so damn sensitive these days about almost any move he used to be able to do without thinking. Now he thinks he has to plan every move. It must have been tough for you.
I haven't told you much at work what happened a couple of days before Brian died. I didn't want to worry you about what might happen with your guys.
Paula and I figured you'd tell us when you trusted us enough.
Well, it was pure hell, Pat. He was getting so rational and uncontrolled, I was afraid to leave him with an aide. He might have gotten violent, and there he was, incontinent. I'll spare you most of the details. All I can really tell you is I kept wondering how much longer this could go on without my losing it. You can only imagine how much it would have cost if eventually we were able to send him to a nursing home. And I couldn't help wondering what would make my life different.
I guess most of us think that once in a while.
I hope you don't ever have to think you have to sacrifice your life so
Just
that...
don't use that word, Marcia. I'm not sacrificing anything. Besides, right now I'm worried about what's going to happen if he wakes up one day and realizes that there's nothing for him to do.
So there's another problem, isn't there?
You can imagine from your own job how much time I spend bending over the computer in the office. I'm practically dying to pee by the time I get to my coffee break.
Have you talked to your supervisor? He might try to make things easier.
Are you kidding? He's just looking for an excuse to get rid of me because I'm getting slow.
Yeah, that's how I got my early retirement deal.
I don't think he's noticed yet. I wear one of those diaper things.
Maybe you should have a visit with Dr. Fieldfine.
I can deal with this hell.
You can tell me anything unless you just don't trust me, Josh. Have you kept this from Pat? You said she was adjusting.
Oh, okay. I'm getting up very early to cover myself before she's out of bed. But she probably knows.
So why not talk to her?
She's got enough on her mind already. Anyway, I was hoping if I didn't mention it, it would stop bothering me and go away on its own.
So you believe in the tooth fairy? Just pretend it's not there, poof, magic.
But it's not her I'm really worried about. It's the job. I thought about it and I realized that it's all I really know. When I walk near somebody in the office, I try to see if he suspects. But it's not easy for me not to be scared.
You've got to get a handle on this, Josh. Maybe you need a change in medication.
You mean a bigger dose? That's just the way to the end.
Or maybe another beginning.
Oh, don't give me that Dr. Feel-Fine crap. All I'm sure about right now is keeping that damn tech job. It's just about the only thing that makes me get up in the morning.
But just in case, do you have a plan B? That is, just in case.
Hal! You've known me a long time. And you know we don't discuss this particularly since you ought to realize by now there is no plan B anymore. Keeping my job is the last plan B I've got. Do you understand that?
Okay. Sorry I mentioned it. Want to ride home? Paula didn't need the car today.
I didn't know you'd be here. I arranged a pickup.
You could at least cancel.
I don't want to piss them off, if you pardon the expression.
How'd you be able to tell? How'd you be able to tell the difference?
That's supposed to be another joke.
Maybe.
He's late again.
I think we'd better let him know what's bugging us, especially Paula. Anyway, I don't like the way she looks right now.
Caregiver exhaustion. If anything, she told me Hal's dreams are getting worse.
Josh had a butte last night. I think he's worried sick that he might be losing his job. Thank goodness with his pension we can afford it if it happens.
What was the dream about?
What is it?
Ah!
Wake up!
Where?
It's me. Wake up.
I thought I was dreaming about getting stuck in the escalator on 34th Street. A crowd of people kept telling me to move, and I couldn't move.
Relax. You can move.
I can't.
Yes, you can. I'll make it happen. I think you'll have to get a stronger dose.
I don't need a stronger dose. I'm fine the way I am.
Why won't you ever take my advice?
You mean about medicine?
I mean about anything having to do with it.
I still want to believe that if I ignore it, it'll just go away.
If you need me to believe it, I can too.
Please don't give me hope. It's the last thing I need.
Then what do you need?
To keep my job.
We'll find you something else if we need to.
What does that mean? Something else. What's something else?
Hi folks, I just want you to know I'm on probation, so I'm going to have to be very careful whom I offend. So I'm going to play it safe. Mix in a couple PCers. What's the most popular health coverage policy for ISIS recruits? Afterlife insurance, money back guarantee if not completely satisfied. What mental condition is diagnosed as fear of gays in wide open spaces? Oklahomophobia. Here's one that won't offend anyone, I hope. How can you tell if you're wearing an outsourced parachute? It opens on contact. Why did the circus owner fire the tightrope walker? Because she was unbalanced. That's one for my pal Josh. He's becoming unbalanced because he's afraid he'll lose his job. And he might lose his job because he's getting unbalanced. But I'm going to see him through it. Just remember, we've all got a one-way ticket to enjoy the ride. Which reminds me, so how many of you used that special service for folks who can't negotiate the 39 steps down into the subway? I can't use its real name, so I'll say that it rhymes with obsess a ride. You have a doctor's appointment at 4 p.m., so you ask him to pick you up at 2, since they'll figure on picking you up at 3, since the ride only takes 15 minutes. Hello? Hello, my name is Hal Newman, and I requested,
Our menu has changed, so please review the following options.
we've been waiting for 35 minutes, and my wife tried...
For pick-up times, press 1. For drop-off times, press 2. For unexpected delays, press 3.
Can I please speak to...
For mandatory delays of more than half an hour, press 4. Your call is very important to us, and our menu is changing again. I will connect you with our dispatcher, who will be with you shortly. Shortly.
Lift, push, squeeze, stretch, crouch, reach, press, reach, press, reach, reach, give up what?
The whole thing.
You're thinking what I'm thinking. Don't think
But I
it's-
can't stop thinking about when I'll be among the ever-smiling wheelchair brigade, being pushed around like some life-size dolls.
At least it's not getting worse. For now, is it?
Not yet. but
So let's stick with the now.
The now is what I can't stick with anymore. I just got fired.
When?
Just before I got here. It took just 15 minutes conversation to blot out 25 years of service. And when I got back to my office, the damn security guards marched in, took away the computer and any paper files I had, as if I were a
Well,
criminal.
why did this happen now?
Okay. I had an accident. I miscalculated when I needed to go to the bathroom, and my dumb luck walked right into the boss.
I think there are laws about...
Laws that protect me from being slow, not catching on to new apps. Anyway, the simple reason he gave me when he met me in the office was that I wasn't needed anymore. And he's right.
Stop that! You just made a dumb excuse to cut back on the payroll so the company can get more squeezed out for the rest of you. Anyway, at least you know you can count on me no matter what, huh?
Thanks for saying that, even if there's nothing you can do.
Being there for you isn't nothing. And if you start feeling that, I want you to call me.
But right
You
now,
got me?
right now, I don't feel there's anything for me.
Your wife, your kids, your grandchildren, that's a lot of nothing.
But that's not me. I want to live for myself for a change. I know that's selfish, but
Look. I don't know what to tell you. But for now, just take it easy for a while. Call me when you've had a chance to think it over. Right now, you're in a state of shock. Just go home. Take 2 aspirin. And get some sleep. You'll get my bill next week.
yes, Dr. Feelgood, aspirin, and a long sleep.
Hello? It's Pat.
What time is it? Hello? Pat, did you realize... What? Okay, just calm down. We'll be over as soon as we can. Just try to... Did you call 911? See if you can talk to the doctor. Get dressed. We've got to go over to their house right away. It's Josh.
What's wrong?
She can't wake him up. Hi, folks. Hope you've had some good vibes this week. Mine weren't so hot. I lost a friend. Waiting for the punchline? There is no punchline. He was here a few days ago and then he disappeared. Okay, now some choice selections from my PD joke book. What religion do PDs feel most comfortable with? Quakers. What's a PD's favorite dance? The jitterbug. What's a PD's favorite daytime activity? A nap. What's a PD's favorite breakfast food? Shredded wheat. What's a PD's favorite artist? Jackson Pollock. Did you get that one? I thought not. Okay. Anybody here on Medicare? Oh, wow! I've got a following. Or is that a leaving? Hey, buddy, do you need to get to the bathroom? or just recharge your hearing aid. Guess he went to the wrong place. We've got a policy in this joint. No one admitted whose IQ is higher than their age. Now don't all of you get moving at once. Okay. Funny, huh? You want more funny? How about a very long Russian novel that's a favorite of insomniacs? Snore in Peace. You didn't get that one either? Well, that's too bad. Read a book!
Now, I don't get you. You know, we got rid of a featured act and gave it to you, and now you do this?
Well, maybe I'm just tired of getting people to laugh when what they really need was cry.
People don't pay good money to hear things that make them cry, Hal.
Sure they do, as long as they can share it on Facebook.
Whatever. Anyway, I had to find someone to fill in, and you're a slut, so I'm bringing back Give Me a Hand. Hope there are no hard feelings.
I'm a soft feelings guy. I can't afford hard feelings. They hurt too much.
Yeah, I can't resist with the jokes, can you?
Oh, glad you reminded me. Ask me the question. What's the sign of an ex-comedian?
All right, what's the sign?
Timing! I guess after all these years you can tell a comic's washed up when he repeats the same jokes.
I don't think I'd worry about you, Hal, but...
Oh, okay, one more. Ask me the question. What's the sign of an ex-comedian?
All right, what's the sign?
Gotcha.
Thanks for coming to the service, Marcia. I know it's not your thing. I feel better now that you're here. Just the two of us. The house feels more comfortable than that funeral home. Somehow I didn't feel as if anyone who spoke about him really knew Josh. Or the Josh he'd become.
Wish I could do more. You've always been there for me since Brian died.
At least your husband didn't suffer the worst symptoms. Maybe that's what they were afraid of.
I think he was more afraid of being useless.
Josh wasn't useless. If only he'd been able to hold on to that job. The night before he died, I suggested that maybe he could keep the job if he offered to go half-time. He got so angry, I just thought maybe what I said.
If you're thinking what I think you're thinking, don't think it.
I can't stop wondering if it was the way I said it. As if he'd become half of his real self. But I wonder how much of his real self was still real. I'd look at him when he was asleep and he suddenly seemed a stranger.
People our age are being let go all over the country. We just don't single out. By the way, is Hal still doing his stand-up shtick?
Paula told me the last time he did it was just after Josh died. I think he crossed the line with his routine. He insulted the audience.
I was just taking a nap before you went to bed. Are you all right?
Frozen!
I'm here. Can I get up?
I can't.
Yes, you can. I'll do it with you.
I can do it myself now.
Are you sure?
I said I can do it myself.
I'm not letting you go until you're safe in bed.
Leave me alone.
But I can...
I don't need your help. Now see.
But I can... Sweetheart, I think you should go see the doctor. You might need to change your dosage.
I'm not going to see the doctor, and my dosage is just fine. Fine.
Hal, you are not fine.
See? Just leave me alone.
I said I'm not leaving you until you're back in bed. Do you need the bathroom?
I think I'm having an accident.
That's all right, dear. I'll clean it up in a jiffy.
You think what I have is just a jiffy?
I'll take care of everything.
Everything I can take care of.
But just put your weight
I said
out.
leave me alone! I didn't mean.
I think you did.
Paula, please, forgive me.
Yes. Of course. I always do.
I'll see the doctor soon. I'm sure it's just a temporary.
Yes, temporary.
Why you stay with me?
I don't know anymore. I mean, of course I'll stay with you. Always.
How long is always?
As long as you need it to be. Always.
How long do I need it before it becomes something
Please
else?
stop worrying about something that's going to happen if we're not even sure what it is.
You're still mad at me, aren't you?
Yes, I am. Not because you hit me. I know that's not what you meant.
Of course, you know I never touched you in anger, have I?
What hurts me much more is your stubborn refusal to get help when you need it.
But I have to believe that the more I try to do for myself, the less I'll have to depend on others.
But you can try to make things easier on me. And that means helping me find out if you need new medicine, even if you're scared of knowing. If you do, because how? I can be scared too.
I guess you hide it much better than I can.
Or maybe you just don't want to notice when I can't pretend that I'm not as frightened as I feel.
I guess you're right. Sometimes I feel so helpless.
Well, so do I. You keep asking me why I stay with you. The truth is, I don't know. Maybe because I feel guilty leaving you alone and knowing how we've been so much a part of each other's lives. But it's really a spark of light that lets me know that you still have the fight in you to move forward instead of waiting for a miracle and getting depressed when it doesn't come. That spark I see in you keeps me going.
I guess it's my jokes, huh?
I call it love that discovers friendship.
Friends?
Well, he's late again.
I think his car's broke down and he's using Obsessoride.
Please spare me another one of Hal's jokes.
You know what's funny? I was getting so used to Josh's craziness that I'm beginning to wonder how much I really miss him now.
However you feel, you're entitled to feel. So tell me what it is before Dr. Feelgood gets here. I don't trust him.
I got up this morning and wondered if we were still having our support group meeting. And I looked next to me in that empty bed and I thought,
How did I hold on for so long? And why?
I've thought about it, but you didn't have to say it for me, Marcia.
Even if it's true? I know this may not be the time to tell the truth, but I feel the sooner you think about it, the better. Look, Pat, I lost Brian a year ago, and don't tell me I don't enjoy having a life of my own after all those years when I never allowed myself to do anything for me unless I was, or he was, connected. And sometimes even a real connection wasn't at all.
You mean sex?
Yes! What about it?
I don't want to think about that right now.
Well, it's an important part of the picture, isn't it? If you want to talk about the truth.
I guess I'm not ready for the truth yet, Marcia.
The sooner the better, or you won't be able to deal with it at all, believe me. I know.
Sorry, I'm late.
Well,
Sorry, I'm late.
here's the I feel your pain, doctor.
Yeah, well, sorry I'm late.
Not as sorry as we are that you're not later.
Marcia, this isn't the time for that.
Hi guys. Sorry, what are you staring at? Oh, that.
Did that son of a bitch husband hit you?
It was an accident.
That looks like some accident.
never intended.
What? What did he intend? Or did he think it was a better form of
It
communication?
was just a moment when he lost it.
But you can't. You're making excuses like I used to do with
Will
Brian.
you cut it out, Marsha? This is supposed to be grief therapy, not an indictment.
But I think the sooner that she...
Will you just shut up?
I really think this isn't the time.
I'm just trying to give you some advice, Pat. So maybe you can avoid that I'm nobody if I don't take care of him for the rest of my life feeling. Do you notice any changes in your outlook about the future now that Josh is gone?
I don't want to think about that right now.
Now's the best time. So you don't have to make excuses for that feeling.
And what's that?
You're free! You can live again.
I don't think you should talk like that, Marcia.
How should we talk, Dr. Feelgood? How the hell do you know how I feel, or Pat, or Paula? You prescribe these pills, and when we're here, you give out this half-baked advice you still remember from medical school.
Marcia, I think you're being a little unfair.
Who's fair? How? Who hit you when he needs you to be strong? Anyway, you look exhausted. What do you think she should do about it, Doctor?
Well, I know that the best thing for her is being around friends and family.
What friend? Whose family? This is my family. Once Brian got the diagnosis and everybody we were friends with knew, they began to feel too busy to find the time to go visit or go out with us. And when they finally discovered that PT isn't contagious, they thought they'd had enough of being good Samaritans.
You know you can count on us.
And you can count on Dr. Feelgood to read up on his notes so he can be sure what he's supposed
Now
to
that's
be doing.
just about enough, Marcia. You don't think I have feelings too?
I thought you weren't supposed to have feelings. Or do you take Feelings 101 in med school?
Look, if you want to switch to another group,
We're just fine with you the way you are. Of course, you can always switch to another hour and maybe getting yourself on time for once.
do you know why I am always late? Because I can't find a goddamn parking space! They assigned me one and then they misplaced the forms, and by the time I found out it was taken.
Well, you might have figured out something else.
Please stop it! You're getting me stressed. And you're not making it easier for him, Marcia.
I'm sorry. I really didn't mean to blow up with you. I just don't want to see Pat suffer the way I suffered, blaming myself.
I know I shouldn't be telling you this, but I do have feelings that I can't erase just by pressing the delete button. And the toughest part is to give you hope, because until some miracle drug comes along, it's not hope I can really give. It's the willingness to go on no matter what. And a lot of my patients just give up
Why? Why do they give up?
because they don't want to face what's going to happen to them. It's not the American way. We say, passed on, or they're off to a better place. Or, and this is the one I really don't understand, when they say they know their loved ones are looking down on them. Well, looking up would make more sense.
You don't have to get so morbid, Doc. Just believe in miracles.
Yeah, when I was in med school, one of the old timers told us the secret of the American way is sustainable health care for the elderly. Eh? Don't get sick. And if you do, die quick.
Hey, I'm the one who came here today, so I'm supposed to feel better.
Sorry. I'm beginning to wonder what we're doing here.
I do too. And please, please, everybody, don't start telling me about how the caregivers go before the ones they love. It has to be more than love to explain it.
You do look like hell, Paula. Is there something we can do for you?
I was thinking, coming over, the three of us in a real support group, where we live. We tried it once, and it seemed to work, remember? And then we thought we might be doing something wrong if we didn't see a shrink. But instead of going to a strange neighborhood in a big building with little offices, we might feel more relaxed if we just visited each other once a week. Anyway, that would be a lot cheaper.
Maybe we can work that out. Let's go.
Best idea we've had in months. Come on, gals.
Goodbye, Dr. Fieldfine. Thanks for trying.
Better luck with that parking space.
Hey, I'm logging that in as a full session.
Welcome to the not so bitter end. I'm trying some new stuff since I got canned from my last gig for not funny enough. Or actually not enough funny. Just so you know, that can be pretty scary if you think about it enough.
Yes. And truth most always looks beautiful, no matter what scars are underneath. Because we live in an invented world where there is no aging, no illness, and no death.
No,
No
death.
And when the bills started coming faster than I could open the mail, we weren't on Medicare yet. I realized for the chronically ill, it's really too expensive to stay alive after you've seen what cruel things our bodies can do when they get disease. It's as if there was some plan that had been set up before humans came to live on this planet. And we didn't know what to do with it, and that, ladies and gentlemen, is chronic illness. A biological mistake.
A mistake.
When Brian got the diagnosis, I thought, well, it's sometimes very slow. We still have some good years ahead, and I promised I would never put him in a nursing home because I couldn't imagine anything that could be worse.
Couldn't imagine.
But just a few days ago, when I saw Paula with that bruise on her face, I remembered what I had gone through with Brian, especially in his last years. You don't get run down that fast, but you become the only one he could depend on. The routine begins to break you apart. And sometimes when I get up at 4 a.m. with this screaming, I'd look at him and it seemed I didn't recognize him anymore. That some sinister, helpless creature had replaced my husband. And it was drawing all that life I had left in me, sucking it out until I didn't know what I could do. And he saw it and said nothing to let me know how much I must still care for him.
Still
care for him.
But one day, when I woke up and heard him sobbing, I felt something snap in me. After I smelled the accident, I cleaned him up. I suddenly burst into tears, and then I heard his voice as if it were coming from a deep cave. Let me go. And I turned to him, my hands smelling of his shit. And I knew what he meant. And I smiled. And he did too.
He did too.
I knew what all the medications were and what they could do. So after I cleaned him up and he really smelled good now, I knew I could finally give him peace. But to tell you the truth, I no longer cared if he would have peace, like I knew he would. I decided I would give him an overdose and pass it off as an accident. I measured the amount very carefully, was about to administer the injection, when he suddenly opened his eyes, but now he looked sad. I was so astonished that I dropped the hypodermic on the floor. When I picked it up, I knew the moment had been lost, and I wouldn't be able to go through with it.
Go through with it.
2 minutes later, as I began to realize that I might feel remorse that would haunt me, possibly for the rest of my life if I had killed him, I heard a loud groan in the bedroom, as if all his sufferings could be purged with that sad, awful outcry. I rushed in and immediately knew he was dead. The look on his face I'll remember the rest of my life. A twisted smile of gratitude that his suffering would be finally over. And that way, he could give me back the gift of life.
Gift of life.
After the inquest, after the funeral was over, I heard nothing of accusation from our friends. and relatives, those that were still in touch, to give a damn. And although there are times when I miss him, I have never felt a minute of guilt at what I plan to do.
No guilt.
So the story.
It's not that easy to deal with the truth.
I think I can finally figure out Marcia. There's still a lot of things I want to do before I get that bad, and maybe I'll get some done.
Like getting people to laugh.
Hey, remember when we first met and we took those dancing lessons?
And I realized what it meant to dance with someone who has two left
At
feet.
least in those days, they were going in the right direction. I got you to laugh.
I had a dream last night. We were dancing on the edge of the beachfront. The ocean's tongue was lifting us up and around.
What kind of dance?
A waltz, like the first time we met. And then we saw a seagull showing us how to fly.
How to soar above the blue-black waves.
And it let us down so gently. I on the shore, you in the water, and how you swam back to me. How beautiful to swim to a shore where we both can stand together.
Well then, would you care to have this dance? Da 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 da. Oh, I got one. Yes, I'm trying to remember. Yes, what bedtime story? Yes. Did the dyslexic basketball fanatic love to tell his kids?
Winnie the Hoop!
What do PDs? Why do PDs love to visit Egypt?
Because they can be in denial.
You didn't get that either, did you? Yeah. I don't give a damn. Madam, shall we dance? Da 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 da.